we had to push everything back to give me a couple of days because I had a hate crime happen to me, and it affected me. But I'm not gonna lay hate.
Stop. What? Please let me know what happened.
So as we was doing our drive, we had an event in Longview. It was great. We had to be in Carthage at 6:00. So we were gassing up at 12:00 in Longview, Texas, to go to Carthage. And as I was at the Sam's Club, which I'm a member of, have been for a while, I was getting gas and my card would not work. So I was sliding my card and I went and knocked on the door of the gas person attendant. And I said, hey, my card's not working. Could you give me a courtesy slide? Because they do that. And they said, yeah. He said, I know you. You JJ? I said, yeah. He said, man, how do I register to vote? I want to vote for you, man. I'm excited. I've been seeing your signs up everywhere. I said, well, what are your concerns? And we're walking to the gas pump. So while he's doing this, there's a fellow American who has to be a European descent, 65 plus older. He's just looking at me like this. Right. So I'm a nice person. I nodded at him and I said, well, how you doing, sir? And he did like this and I just left it alone. And so the young man said, how can I vote? I said, well, we got an event. Let me get your number. And I reached in to get two of these.
Right.
These are my pieces, my rack card pieces that I'm
sure.
pushing on JJ. So I went and I said, here you go. And I just gestured to the guy, hey, this young man is trying to unite us. Now it says on the front, Democrats, Republicans, Independent, United for a Better America.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's my message. Always have been. He said, can I say the words or you want me to believe it out? He said, I don't want the SHIT.
No, you can't say the words.
I don't want that. You people, what's wrong with this country? Y'all messing it up. I said, what I do? I'm just trying to make it better. He said, yeah. He kept starting cussing me out, saying all kinds of negative things. So me, I got thick skin. I turned to the young American who happened to be Asian, looked like he's 21. And I said, I'm so glad as we move forward, we're going to forget the past, remember it, but we're going to focus on fixing problems and moving together. Then he reached in, he said, you're right. So he embraced me and gave me a hug. And then that guy said, I looked over, he said, you full of air. And he was going back to get his gas. So while I was embracing the young man, I just happened to look over and I saw somebody act like that. He with his pump, like he wanted to douse gas on me. So I said, you better not throw that gas on me. You better not. I raised my tone and then he stopped. He stopped going towards the gas pump to put it back up. And he looked at it and he said, oh, to hose you down and set you on fire. And I froze, right? I ain't never had anybody say they're going to set me on fire.
Wow.
I looked down the barrel of that gas pump. I said, oh, he finna dash me with this gas. Because people don't know, I've been in a bad car wreck before where I should be dead. And I saw my life flash before my eyes. So that feeling and emotion came back up and I believed him. And then immediately I prayed in my head because I'm Semitic and I believe in the Creator. And I said, what shall I do? And I said, you better not do that. There's no forgiveness for the wicked. If you dash me with that gas, you will go to the lake of fire and you will burn with brimstone. And there's no forgiveness. How can you do this to an American? And then he snapped out. It's like he was in a trance of hate. And he snapped out and he did like this. And he looked at what he was doing. And then he went and put it up. And then I was shocked. I was like left in stage of shock. And I turned to the young man. He said, wow. I said, you heard that? He said, yes. And all of a sudden I looked to my left. I had my campaign manager behind me in her car. And it was older African-American lady in a red Cadillac. And she was like, telling me to come here. So I moved through. I'm in shock the whole time. I said, ma'am, I'm finna have her to move. She said, no, I don't have my card. My card, could you help me? I said, yeah, I got you. So I went and got my wallet, got my card, came and paid for her gas, pumped her gas for her, and I went back. It was $37. She had $40 in her hand. I said, let me go get you some change. So I went and got my wallet, got her, gave her $4. She gave me the $40. I'm just a good Samaritan. I look for opportunities to help people. But I went and got in my car and I was shocked and I was a little emotional because I was like, wow, I believe he was going to burn me alive. because, I froze. I didn't want to have my phone or anything. I don't want to reach for anything at that moment because he could have probably thought I was reaching for a weapon and he could have, shot me down, reached for his gun. This is an open and carry state and people use fear. I do got the complexion to get away. So I just, hey, I'm like this, I'm froze. So I was in the car and I stood there for like 5 minutes and I was like, wow, that man really wanted to kill me. So I called my twin brother and I said, bro, do you know what just happened to me? He said, what? I'm driving off Sam's. I didn't want to say nothing at first. And I said, this guy said he threatened to hose me down with gas and set me on fire. He said, you still there? I said, no. He said, go back, because if you did that to anybody, you're going to be in jail and you're going to prison. So I turned around. I called a few more people, my consulting company that I'm working with, and I called a supporter of mine, Miss Mary Lou. She said, Jrmar, someone pulled a gun on me, and this is going too far. And if you don't stand up, who will? And if not now, then when? And so I sought, counsel from the people that I love and have respect for, and people that's on my team. So when I went back to call the police came out there and he gave me no respect. He didn't take it serious. He said he don't believe that a gas pump is a weapon. I said, well, if I turned that active gas pump on you, you have every right to shoot me down. He said, no, it has to be justified. I said, so you don't think that's a weapon? No, he said he ought to do it. I said, he ought to do it. It don't matter if he said ought to. Did he spray you? I said, the man threatened my life. And if we don't make an example of him now, he's going to go hurt somebody. Just like that young killer in Uvalde. They knew ahead of time that they called him a school shooter. Right? It's called foreseeable negligence. And right now, the state of Texas should be sued for not invoking the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia necessary for the security of a free state and the right of the people to bear arms. It never says the right of the individuals, and those people must secure the state. And how can we have security if the militia doesn't exist? It's a free-for-all here. And we need the governor, Craig Abbott. He has failed in his fiduciary duty to regulate a militia. So I was fearful that this unregulated person could have just shot me down. And I'm here for a mission I'm not trying to be a martyr. I'm not trying to be a martyr, and especially with the disrespect that I'm having in my own district. I'm the first. When you're the first, you really get it, right? I'm the first African-American, even though it says Negro on my birth certificate, right? So I say that few other Negro Americans, they don't like that, but it's a split. It's a big war going on in East Texas because most of the Republican Party is full of former Democrats.
Right.
And they literally, I have Democrats who work for Republicans. They tell me I can't really help you because I might lose my job. My boss is very conservative. And, I've been getting all kinds of harassment. I'll chop your signs down. And who do you think you is? And people brash weapons. But this cut the cake. I've never had it like this where it affect me. I've looked down the barrel of a gun. I mean, get out the way, right? Get out of the line of fire. But you can't get out of line of somebody talking about hosing you down. Shit go everywhere. And he said his intention was to set me on fire. So that affected me. I was emotional for like at least, this happened last week. It took me like 3-4 days to get over this.
Because it is absolutely serious, my friend. Look, I am glad that you recounted that story because that story on its own is intense. But let me tell you, for every bad person you run into, and I'm sure since you speak to so many people, there's so many good people. And just like we don't want the reflection of one bad person to actually be representative of us all, we can't let the reflection of those bad folks to change that positive energy that you are putting out there, that positive energy, because the positive energy is what's going to make you win. The positive energy is what's going to let people see he has overcome what they've thrown at him with dignity, perseverance, and character. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.